Here I present to you Mark Littlewood.
Thank you, Sharon.
So Mark is founder and CEO of a business of software. I would say it's not one of the best, it's the best conference in the industry. So I've been going for many years and really grown along with Mark. So really, thank you, Mark, for even being here today.
Thank you.
Here you are.
Thank you. It's been a really fascinating day. First of all, I want to say thank you to Sharon and to the team here who've been organising this. It's an honour and a privilege to be asked to speak. At the end of this, you'll realise why I'm very rarely asked to speak. But it's great to see so many people all hanging out and asking questions and being curious. And I guess a lot of you have been working remotely and probably meeting people face to face for the first time. It's really nice to be back in the world of in-person events. But thank you. So there was a really interesting comment from, no, because everyone's moved around. Someone said understanding the game. Was it you? At the end of the last exercise, someone was like, that it took them a while to understand the game. And then, well, yes, he said, okay, you were doing that exercise, and after a while, suddenly it gets easier when you understand it. And so I wanted to kind of bring things together by talking about the game and talking about what it means to become a product-driven company. Is that what you guys are now? Yeah? Okay, just for clarity. So I want you to close your eyes. And I'm going to run away. I want you to close your eyes and just do a little thought experiment. And this is an entirely fictional, entirely hypothetical situation that you have to imagine. So bear with me, and I know it's going to be a stretch. Imagine you're part of a large, hierarchical, expertise-driven, quasi-academic organisation that's been created like some giant supernova or whatever the star is that happens when you get two smaller stars that come smashing together. Just imagine that for a minute, okay? I know it's going to take a little bit of effort for you to get out of your kind of current mindset. Now imagine you're in a little bit of this massive Borg of an organisation called product. And the CEO of the company has decreed that henceforth, the company will be product-led. Your mission's just to make it happen. Okay, eyes open. So what you got to do is make it happen. What does it actually mean? Let's have a few thoughts. What are your priorities? What are the things you have to do to make that happen in this entirely hypothetical organisation? Yes!
What do we do with existing products?
What do we do with existing products? Okay. Are they products even?
Things. Money-making things.
Others?
Change the governance.
Others?
What do customers actually want?
What do customers? Any others?
How do we really put the customer
Others?
Build the capability.
Details.
Make sure the senior leadership team have a product mindset.
Who said that?
No one's putting their hand up.
Do you mean the product leadership team?
And build agility within the team.
Sorry?
Build agility within the teams.
Learn how to say no to ideas that someone's had that they think is great just because it's an idea and might not be relevant.
Prioritising?
Yeah. But also just learning how to say no, not just prioritizing.
Oh, product management is about saying no.
Focus on value to the customer.
Outcome focused.
Oh, these are all good buzzwords.
Who are our product managers?
Agile! Who are your customers?
Sorry, who are our product managers?
Oh,
Who are our customers?
Yeah.
I guess also some honest self-reflection, you know? Sometimes is that honest, you know, what were we, where are we going, what do we lack, what do we need to incorporate, you know, that honest self-reflection.
Space for
it's
risk.
almost like SWOT analysis of... I don't write much, I'm getting exhausted.
Reorganise into product teams.
There can and must be product teams.
Stop doing projects. Stop doing
Anything else?
Take risks. Be able to have space to take risks.
Take risks.
Culture.
Calculated risk.
Okay, I'm going to stop at culture because I really like it. My writing is so bad. Really like the culture thing. So, where do these all fit? So, in an existing product culture and in an existing product-driven company, your role as product people is relatively simple. There's two things you do. You're about identifying the priorities, understanding the priorities of the different business units, about taking all that stuff together, thinking about how you manage those stakeholders, manage the competing priorities of those different things, and creating roadmaps that work perfectly, make everybody happy. Done. Why are you laughing? It's okay. Yeah. And the other thing that you have to do is, and I think, you know, a lot of these things are covered in these two buckets. The other thing is actually to identify the skills, form the teams, recruit people into the teams, develop the processes, the tools, the skills that you need to actually deliver. And that's quite a lot. You were giggling when we said one thing. So we're now on two things, doing the prioritisation and building the skills in the teams. And in a new organisation, you've got this other thing, and I think it's really... Who said culture? It's you. You get a prize. Pass that over. It's a crap prize. No, it's a great prize. Because that's really important, and I think, you know, you have to develop and understand what product culture is within your own organisations. And some of you are new to product, some of you are domain experts, some of you that come from other parts of the business, some of you have come from outside, some of you have practiced at product but don't know what the Borg does. And so there's all of that bit that you're learning, and at the same time, you've got to help the rest of the business. What percentage of people in your organisation work in product?
100.
Ooh. So you're thinking about your product organisation. I'm thinking about everybody that works for whatever the new big company's called, CUP&A.
We'd like it to be on.
Yeah.
If that's what the
Are
CEO
you
said.
20% of the whole company? Are you 10%? Are you 5%?
0.5%?
0.5%.
I would disagree with that because
section of working in product and what's a real working in product.
no,
Yeah.
but I'd also disagree with that because we still have marketing, we have sales, we have and I don't know if content creators are considered product. They should be, but they're not currently. And
Yeah.
I probably at least 50% of our company is product, is content creation. Because we're a publisher and content creators.
Yeah.
mostly.
Do we create content or we get people outside the organisation to create content? The associates. So in the exam business, all the exams are written by 20,000 associates. In the publishing business, it's all your authors. So are they great content creators or is it actually, do we manage content creation? Sorry, that's an insight.
There's some very good questions to start off the pub section of the proceedings here. Julian, do you have a? No. So you're about 0.5% of the organisation, and you're kind of working out what product culture is and what product-driven organisation is. How much of a monkeys do you think the other 99.5% of the company give about these existential angst driving questions that you're wrestling with as you go to sleep at night and you wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night?
There's a certain amount of change fatigue.
Mm.
This is one in quite a long.
But 0.5%, that's easy then to think of this as a kind of a fight, like the sort of David versus Goliath fight. You're a relatively small part of a very big organisation. It's been around for ages, going through change fatigue. I get getting out of bed in the morning fatigue sometimes. Your big challenge, I think, as an organisation, yes, you've got to get the prioritising and the understanding and the that piece right, and you've got to form the teams and build the capability internally. The biggest challenge you've got, and this is where your kind of hero's journey comes in, I think, is to get other people in the organisation to understand what a product-driven organisation is and how they can become a product-driven organisation. And dare I say it, let's take it away from the reality and go back to that completely hypothetical example that we were thinking about. Help the CEO understand what the heckity heck a product-driven organisation means and is, and help the people that are running the different divisions that are not in product to understand how to do that. And I think so there's three big buckets of stuff that you've got to do, and they're all challenges in themselves. And I think, as I said before, if you're an established product company, you have to affect less cultural change, because if you're working in a product-driven organisation already, things will probably be different. So, to change the culture, what's the best way to change culture?
Lead by example.
Yep. If you're the leader, how do you get the leader to lead by example then and talk about this stuff rather than just write in the annual report that we're now a product-driven organisation? How can you?
Make accountability, but with short changes in the system and continuously improving that going forward.
Yeah, I think this gets to the heart of it. I think there's two ways you can do it, and you can do them both together. You need to help people understand what that is, and to get there, probably the best way to do it is not to make you guys look great. Look, the good news is, I know you're great already. Well, I don't count at all in this, but your job is not to kind of go off and say, hey, how great we are, and we're doing all these brilliant things. I think one approach, particularly early on, that's really going to help is to show the people who are going to be the people that drip money into your organisation and your piece of the organisation, how you are making their lives better, making them look better, giving them the prizes, giving them the awards, giving them the recognition, that rather than telling them this is what we need to do to be a product organisation, you can actually start to show them what being a product organisation means and start to influence and change their behaviours over time as you go. So that's all you need to do. So in addition to your kind of standard product roadmap, I would encourage you to think about really understanding who those key stakeholders are. Now, in a normal product roadmap, you might have a set of stakeholders. In this sort of, how do we change the organisation, and every organisation is a product in and of itself, you need to really think about those key people. Who has sat down with how many people on the smallest board that the organisation has? 12? It's not a rhetorical question. I mean, how many people are on the board? About 12. Who has sat down and interviewed those people? Any of them? Literally nobody in this room. Talked to them, had a conversation with them about what a product... Yeah. What do they mean by a product organisation? Anyone done? Emmy, what did they say?
So I have spoken to Pamela about product organisation, and she is very open to the change that we need, but we kind of on a journey. Organisation. She's open to that.
The hero's journey, and you are the hero.
So yeah, so I haven't gone into a huge amount of detail. We are doing a gap analysis in India to
Yeah.
understand what the gap is and how mature we are.
I think you should all be thinking as an as a product organisation, what are the things that you can really make? Because one thing making a difference to the different departments and the different teams across the whole organisation that you're working with, but you really need to have some impact and some ways of hitting the people up. Might not be the board, because it might be one of those sort of random university type boards where no one turns up. Who are those key people? And is there something that you can do as a team for each of those people that's relatively easy and a quick win that you can go back to them and go, oh, we did this?
It's showing small success stories around and feeding that into.
Yeah. So I'm keeping you from the pub. So stories today, some really interesting talks, and I think seeing some of this stuff in action in other similarly antediluvian, I meant to think that, didn't I? Organisations like Metropolitan Police and things, really, really interesting examples of how this stuff works. But I mean, some of the things that kind of came out for me were, power of stories, communicating, telling people what you're doing, the importance of longevity, of knowledge, of building up a bank of knowledge and a bank of information. Funding, hey, you're not a startup, but everybody relies on funding, and find those sponsors and understand what they need to make sure that the money keeps coming, building partnerships and all of this sort of stuff. So this takes time. So I want you all to stand up, please. So sit down if you've been in the big organisation for less than a year. 2 years. 5 years. Wow. 10 years. So these people know how it's done. These people know what they want to change. These people will surprise you with the networks and the information they have and the people that they know and the shortcuts that they can help you with. Let's try 20 years. It's all right. We're going to go 30 years now. And I am the only person standing there, apart from you, but presumably you're taking pictures. I first worked here in 1990. I know I don't look old enough. Is it Uckles?
Yes.
They had a computer in Uckles, and then they got a word processor, and I ended up doing a job for them to do some word processing, and it was a fantastic opportunity to sit on a Mac and learn how to do word processing, which took me a month or two, and then I did a summer job with them to produce some leaflets. And they were blown away. They were like, wow, this is amazing, this technology is superb. You can see a screen and you can see stuff, and wow, can you change that? And can you use Comic Sans? It was revolutionary. So 30 years ago, CUP was at the beginning of this sort of tech revolution that's continued. I'm going to tell you another story. About 16 years ago, literally to the year, a friend of mine who was a friend of the CEO here said, these guys really want to do digital and they haven't quite worked out how to do it. And they'd love some thoughts and some advice. Will you have lunch with them? Sure, free lunch. So I went to see the CEO over there, and was like going to have a chat. Turned up, nice little cafeteria place. Saw the, I've forgotten the name, she's South African, but no way, let's keep it all anonymous. Is this being recorded?
Yeah.
Delete that bit. So I turn up and I'm like, oh, this is nice cafeteria. Oh, not in here. Go through a little room. Does anyone remember the old building? You know, there was like a private restaurant, dining facility there. And she and I were the only two people in the entire thing, which had seating of about 40 people. We had a 5-course lunch, and we had a little man that served it. Very fitting. We had a wine list. I didn't drink at lunchtime. And she felt quite disappointed that I wasn't going to take some wine. Someone took some wine. But that is hierarchy. So when you think how far you've come over the last 30 years, well, I'm sorry it takes me to tell you that. You've come a long way, lady. It will take time to change, but it will change. And I know you as change agents, as agitators, as product people, as people who are there to get stuff done, you will make a difference. It will take time. Be patient. Focus on the things that you can really change. Focus on the things that can make a difference. Celebrate the wins for the organisation. Celebrate the wins for the organisation's product, organisation, and as the company. And don't sweat some of the stuff that everyone gets annoyed. Whatever company you're in, it's shit sometimes. And you've got a really interesting opportunity here to make something happen that's going to play a part in changing the way that several thousand people work, several thousand people make their living, and you have impact way beyond that across the world. So you're in a really exciting place. There's challenges ahead, hero's journey. It's never easy, wouldn't be a hero's journey otherwise. So thank you. It's been a great atmosphere, massively interesting, inquiring minds, thoughtful people, really exciting to be part of this, greatly appreciated. Go and get stuff done. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. The truth is, actually, I gave Mark about 5 minutes notice after he arrived here today. I said, Mark, can you give us a closing remark, please? He said, all right then, because the other two speakers couldn't turn up today. So amazing. Thank you so much, Mark. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I think I was reading the story behind the 101 Ways. Actually, the name is inspired by the belief that there are different ways to do things. There is no right way or wrong way. There certainly isn't one way fits all. But there is a suitable way. And that suitable way, only we can work it out. And with the people in this room, you are extraordinary. So thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting us. And we'll see you in 6 months' time. Thank you.